Hi, I'm Len Bergstresser. I'm the president of Apollo Beach Waterway Improvement Group. And myself, as well as others in the community, including Steve Alvarez, Melissa Nicholson, Patricia Austin, Earlene Reed, Aixa Moore, and Steve Latchford, form the Apollo Beach Waterway Improvement Group Board of Directors. For the last 3.5 years, we've been working diligently on getting the channels into and out of Apollo Beach dredged. It's been a monumental undertaking that would not have been possible had it not been for the generous support of the community and also the support of businesses like Tampa Electric, Mosaic, Land's End Marina, Circles Restaurant, Century 21, Beggins Realty, Keller Williams, and homeowners associations like the Mirror Bay homeowners, the Symphony Isles homeowners, and other people throughout the community. To this point, we've raised about $250,000 for this dredging campaign, and we feel comfortable with the amount that we've raised, but obviously we could still use more. So if you have an opportunity to donate to the dredging campaign, we would certainly appreciate your support. Most of you are probably wondering why, after 3.5 years, this hasn't come to fruition. And I wanted to give everybody an update and kind of explain where we are and why it's taken so long. Essentially, the project looked as though it was ready to get started in 2009 when we talked about this and all of the permits were in place. This board came on in January of 2011 and, to their credit, has remained a cohesive group through monthly meetings, town halls, fundraising events, and we're still all together and dedicated to the success of the project. But let's go back to 2011 when the board came into effect. Essentially, the permits were in place for us to do this project. However, the project looked vastly different than what it is going to end up being now today, 3.5 years later. Essentially, back then, the dredge spoils were going to be put on a piece of property here in Apollo Beach called Sunset Isles. Really wasn't going to benefit anybody other than the developers of that piece of property. And over time, what has happened here is there used to be a beautiful beach in Apollo Beach, and it's gone. It's eroded away, and the sand has ended up in the channels. The channels now are anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 or 5 foot at low tide. Our dredging project will bring them to minus 7.5 feet at low tide. So at high tide, they'll be about 9 foot deep and they'll be about 60 foot wide when we're done. But again, in the beginning, it wasn't going to benefit the park. So we came on with permits to do dredging and to put the spoils at the Sunset Isles piece of property. We took a look at the condition of the beach and decided, you know what? We really need to bring the beach back to Apollo Beach. So we changed the focus of the project. We had to do permit modifications that enabled us to put the sand here on this property and store it until such time that the beach was ready to be renourished. What does that mean? That means that the park property and the park owners, who's the Hillsborough County Parks and Recs Department, would come in and build jetties here. And those jetties would, in the long term, keep the beach from being eroded once again into the future. So what will happen is we'll dredge, we'll store the beach sand here, and then when the jetties are constructed, we'll push it back and we'll make a beautifully sculpted beach, and we will in fact bring the beach back to Apollo Beach the way it was 20 or 25 years ago. Okay, so in the process of doing that, we have had to have permit modifications, as I said earlier. That process is very long, detailed, and now the permit process is different than what it had been in 2008 and 2009 when the permits were pulled initially. Now you have to do things like seagrass mitigation, you have to look out for endangered species, you have to take soil samples and everything. All the things that we've had to do now that were not a part of the original process for permitting back in 2008, 2009, 2010. The end result has been delayed. However, I'm here to tell you that we are on schedule to dredge this summer. So that's the good news. I've already explained what the new project is going to look like and what the beach is going to look like. And at this point, what I want to do is introduce you to our crack dredge team. We've got folks down here and we're actually going to do some preliminary dredging today.
Dredge, baby, dredge! 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 Dredge,
Go for it.
And thank you very much for your attention. If you want to learn more about our dredging project, please go to our Facebook page, please go to our website, and if you want to donate to the project, you can do so through our PayPal link at abwig.org. Thank you very much.